Morning, y'all, and welcome to 10 Minutes with Dr. Bree. Today is March the 3rd, and it is 5:57 a.m. Yes, I am recording a little bit earlier because I have things to do today. Welcome to Q1's last month. So welcome to the last month of Q1, I should say. Next month, we will officially be in Q2, and I want you to take a second to reflect on everything you said you were going to do, and I want you to ask yourself, have you done it? If not, totally fine. This is the month for you to do it now. And if you have, congratulations for keeping your word and saying and sticking to the plan. And that is the hardest thing, sticking to the plan. Before we get started, I want to remind you of a few things. I want you to remember that you can get your free ebook, Strategic Shifts, on my website at briannawhiteside.com. You can book your one-on-one strategy session with me over there as well. And you can grab your signed copy of Words and Authority, How the Breath of God Sanctions Kingdom Authority. So if you don't know about authority and you need someone to break down the power of your words, this is the book for you that I released last year. And as always, if you are not subscribed to my mailing list, what are you doing? You need to be subscribed to my mailing list. The mailing list gets way more than the people over here on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts. With that in mind, if you are listening on YouTube, please go ahead and like the video. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, feel free to leave me a rating. Y'all want to know what's funny? I forgot to mention this last week. 2 weeks ago, which was President's Day, I was on Sirius XM. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you, but yeah, I was literally on Sirius XM. And it's so fascinating because I was on there for my academic work. And I think it's a lovely thing when that happens because it reminds me that a lot of my work was not in vain, and some of the ways in which I thought opportunities would come, they would not necessarily come in that way. They would come in other ways. And, it was really just great to be able to add that to my CV line, along with being on PBS, NPR, Huffington Post, Rolling Stone, Pace Magazine, like all of these other media outlets. It was really great to finally say, hey, I was also on Sirius XM. And so if you have the Sirius XM app, feel free to listen to the replay. I was on the Shauna Renee show. And it was a lovely time. Anyway, now that we've gotten all that out of the way, I want to talk about making peace with the life you don't want. Making peace with the life you don't want, because in some way in our lives, some area in our lives, we have something that we don't want. And it is impacting our life in a way that we could not have anticipated, could not have imagined, and just don't want, right? And when you look at that area of your life, you may be frustrated, flustered, just like, if this could just change, I would just be okay. Do I have a witness out there? Is anyone else like that? Like, if this one thing would change, I would be okay. It's so funny because it's not even a ha-ha funny, but it's so interesting that my whole life is like that right now. Like, I am literally, since I left my career, living the life that I don't want. I am. And I'm just going to be honest with you about it. Y'all have seen me cry about it. We're 9 months in now, and I still do not want this life. And no amount of encouragement, no amount of God's going to do it, no amount of that will change the fact that I don't want it. I don't want it. I never wanted it. And, I'm out here living a life that God has for me. And sometimes we romanticize living the life that God has for you. Sometimes we say, oh, it's going to be the best thing. And it may turn out to be the best thing. But as you are living it may not feel like the best thing. And I just want to kind of debunk some of the myths surrounding living the life that God has for you, because in Christian circles, we encourage people to, go ahead, live this life, obey God, and you should obey God. And you should try your best to align your life with the kingdom. I'm not telling you not to do that, but I am giving you the other side to say you're not going to like a lot of it. Maybe not a lot of it. Maybe that's too strong. You're not going to like some of it. Some of it you're just not going to like. And it is what I find myself thinking about now is like, it's either you're not going to like this version of your life and you're going to learn to accept it, or you're going to go out here and do your own thing and you're not going to like the consequences of your actions, right? So they're like two sides of one coin. But living the life that God has for you is not always bells and whistles. It is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done because it's not something that I imagined for myself. It's not something that I wanted for myself. And it is something that I'm trying to learn to do without a blueprint. Here's what I mean. I am largely a goal-oriented woman. I am a woman who, by the time I tell you I'm going to do something, I've already decided to do it and have started doing it, right? I know how to get results. I know how to take control of certain things and progress towards a goal. This is how I've come so far in my life. But, when I'm out here now following God, trying to obey, trying to figure out what the heck do you want from me? Because I still don't fully know what you want from me 9 months later, which is incredibly uncomfortable for me. Now that I'm out here, I'm just like, I need you to show me what to do. I need you to give me the blueprint. Give me the outline. Help me, please. And y'all know what? He hasn't helped me. He has not. And by help, I mean, he has not given me the picture yet. I still don't see the picture. And it's been like that since 2022, where I can only see my feet. I can only see what's directly in front of me. And it is a whole ghetto mess. And it makes me emotional and it frustrates me and it angers me because I'm like, I have taken the leap of faith. I have done the things. Why won't you give me a little bit more, runway? What? I don't understand. And of course, it's not always for me to understand, right? It is for me to follow a father who wants to care for me and wants to prepare for me and wants to do all the things and show me how the kingdom works and all this stuff. And y'all, it is difficult. Difficult is an understatement. It is downright hard and it slaps the taste out of my mouth and snatches my edges back every day. And for the last 9 months, I've been trying to make peace with the life I don't want. This is one of the reasons why you have not necessarily seen me on live on YouTube. This is one of the reasons why I have pivoted into other things, trying to figure out, is this the thing? Because honestly, God hasn't said another word to me about it. It's just like, I'm going to come through for you. And I'm like, we 9 months in this thing. Like, what date is to come through? You know what I mean? Like, what's the tracking number on the come through, please? I'd like that. But I've been really, this process has been really showing me. It's been really showing me my tics, my shortcomings, the things that just cause me to break down. And, it is uncomfortable. And even if you are not in my position, there is an area in your life that causes you to tick, that causes you to break down, that is uncomfortable. And you have to be okay with coexisting with that thing in a way. Right? Sometimes we like to think that, I can pray this away. I can fast this away. I can do all of these things away. If you practice a new age, I can manifest this away. But there is this moment where you have to coexist with the thing you don't like. Okay? And I never imagined that the thing I wouldn't like is this stage of my life. If you would have told me, y'all, when I was a 26-year-old woman giving up everything to follow Christ, if you would have told me that this would be the thing that I did not like, the calling on my life, that is what I'm trying to make peace with, the process of God with me is something that I would struggle greatly to make peace with because I really don't want it, I wouldn't have believed you. Because back in the day when I was, zealous and really like, yes, God, use me. I was willing. I was ready. I was, I wanted it. And now as a 35-year-old woman, I was like, it's taken so long to get to this point that I was just like, I don't even desire it no more. Like, I'm not afraid to say that. Like, I don't even want this. And I'm trying to figure out how to do and obey when my heart is like, I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh man, I don't want it. And I was just talking to a friend recently where I said like, and y'all hear what I'm saying, not what I'm not saying, but I said, I understand every valley moment of a lot of people in the Bible. Like, I know why Saul went to that witch of Endor. I have not done it, y'all. Let me be clear. But I understand the desperation of when God is silent and you need someone to speak to you and you need some information and you want the information by any means possible. You're going to try to get it illegally. I know why he did that, because there is a danger that you could start sensing in your life. It's like, I just need an answer. I know why Jesus cried out and asked God, why have you forsaken me? Right? I know why Peter denied Jesus. Like, all of these feelings I have kind of cycled through in the last few months. And the only thing that has kept me from doing certain things is I know too much. I know too much. And what do you do when you know too much, but you're still in an uncomfortable situation and you still need some type of reprieve? What do you do? I don't know what you do. I know what I do, but I need you to ask yourself, what will you do? Because there is these valleys that God will take you through intentionally. Not that you did anything wrong, but intentional valley. And then you're going to see everything in your heart and your soul surface. And you're going to also have to make peace with that. Ultimately, I think the only way that we make peace or try to learn how to make peace with the life we don't want is to continue living that life. We continue putting one foot in front of the other, hoping that things will get better for us. We continue pushing forward to kind of align our lives to become, so that we can become the person who loves that life, right? We continue to try to do the work. All you can do is the work every day, right? And it is not a pretty answer. It is not a bells and whistles answer, but it's the only answer that has sustained me for the last 9 months of trying to do what I'm trying to do and become who I'm trying to become, even though that person I don't want to become. That's the only thing that has kept me moving forward. And so while some of the progress you all may not see here on YouTube if you're watching, or on Apple Podcasts if you're listening, there is a different process and progress that is happening. You have not seen it because I have not been present in that way. But I also don't think I should be present in that way right now. I don't think that you need to see my face. You hear me. You're hearing what I'm saying. I don't need to be, front center. Let me watch Brianna. Like, that's also a thing that I've been kind of, struggling with, like being in the public eye, being front center. Like, I know a lot of people think that I am an extroverted person, but I'm not. I'm really an introvert and an ambivert on the best day, but I don't like the spotlight. I don't like public facing, all that. And I am, trying to learn to be okay with that. I really, really am. I really am trying to learn not to let my personality or the refined aspect of my personality as a result of all my academic training and life circumstances to hinder what I am supposed to be. I know I just said a lot in this podcast and we are over the 10-minute mark, but I just want to encourage you to keep living the life that you're trying to make peace with. I do. One step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. You're only responsible for today. And one day you'll look up and realize that you've been doing this thing, you've been riding this bike, and it hasn't been so bad. I hope that for you, and I hope that for myself. Anyway, y'all, I'm about to hop off here. I have to go to the gym and then teach an investment course mid-morning. If you have not jumped into my trading and investing 101, what are you doing? Our jobs are unstable out here. That, you may not be making enough money. Why wouldn't you invest in learning how money moves and how to create the wealth? We always talk about creating generational wealth, but sometimes it's not about the work of your hands. Sometimes it is about learning how a system operates and playing within that system. But you can book that session. The link is right there in the show notes. Again, if you have not liked this podcast, please like it. If you have not left me a rating on Apple Podcasts, please do that. Also, grab your free ebook, Strategic Shifts. Also, check out our blog at BriannaWhiteside.com. Join my mailing list at BriannaWhiteside.com. And grab your signed copy of Words and Authority. I'll see y'all soon. in another installment of 10 Minutes with Dr. Bree. And I hope you all have a great week. Bye.